Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafter, welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to be playing with this. It's the Papercraftssociety box 24. It's inspired by the talented and creative Sam Calcott from Mixedupcraft. Her brand is made to surprise. So I'm going to show you what's inside the box. Then we're going to make 3 cards. But first I'd like to share with you the 3 cards that we're going to make. So the first card we're going to make is this 6x6 bendy card. Now you can see here it's flat and it'll fit in our 6x6 envelope, and when we open it, it bends up like this. And this card was inspired by Sam from Mixedupcraft. I thought it would be a cool one to make using the products that she has put into our boxes. So that's the first card. This is the back of the card where you have room to write your sentiment. Then our second card is a pinwheel card, or a pinwheel tower card. And I have made one of these before. Sam has one on hers. It doesn't have the square center, but on my channel I have made this, and I did it with a collaboration with Antonio Makes from YouTube. So this is our pinwheel card, and I have a little thing on the front. I just love that. I played with it for ages. And then our card rotates around like this. Now there's plenty of room to decorate on the card. I'm just going to show you what I've done today, but there are loads of places for you to do some die cutting and add to this. So that's our pinwheel card. And our second card then is this gatefold card. And I thought a gatefold card would be nice because I loved those hot cocoa mugs, and I thought I want to have them just popping up. So you can see there the mugs move over and back as we open and close our card. Now you could make a belly band for this card, but I don't think it really needs it. So I haven't made a belly band for this. You can make a 6x6 gift box to sit your card in, and I'll link to some tutorials on YouTube for making a gift box. And that's what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to pop it into a little gift box and then hand deliver this to the person. So that is our gatefold card with our pop-ups inside. So those are the 3 cards. I hope you're going to craft along with me, maybe using the products if you have got this box. I know that there are some available to order on Craftstash, so I will leave a link to Craftstash and the subscription box, and fingers crossed when I post this video to YouTube there will still be some availability for this box. So let's go ahead now, see what's inside the box, and then make these 3 cards. Hello paper crafters, I thought what I would share with you today is a quick look at box number 24 by Papercraftssociety. Before we start crafting, I just wanted to show you what comes inside the box. So there's a lovely sentiment here from Sam. Make pop-up cards, decorations, gift boxes and more. This box has it all. Enjoy, Sam. So very quickly I'm going to go through the wallet that we get, and I've had a look through this already. Now when I get my box, I like to take out my dies, and I like to take it off the acetate sleeve that it comes in, and I put it on a magnetic sheet, and it's backed with 300 GSM cardstock, and then this is the sleeve that it actually comes stuck on. So I have all the dies in there, and I like to make a note of which box it's from. I keep my dies and stamps etc. separate. The only thing I keep in the wallet on my shelf is the booklet. But these are all the dies that come in there, and there's 31 dies in total. Wow. Okay. So next we have some papers. We also have an embossing folder, which is a lovely embossing folder. of little candy canes, and you can see that the candy canes is running throughout here. So we get one page with some sentiments on that you can die cut or fussy cut out, and then we get 2 sheets of this candy cane, 2 sheets of a little gingerbread man person, 2 sheets of a striped patterned paper, and then 2 sheets of, I love the colors in this with our little candy canes. And then we have 1, 2, 3 more of the brown cardstock, and I think this is for making our little Christmas house. So yeah, great lot in there. We also get a stamp set, and again, I like to take my stamp set, I put it onto some 300 GSM cardstock, I write the details on the back, and that way then I can just take them off there as I like. But we've got some great icons and we've got great sentiments. Home sweet home, from our home to yours, merry home, Christmas and new, thank you for being so sweet, first Christmas in your new home, babies together, have the sweetest Christmas, and then 'tis the sweetest season. And like I said, there's some great stamps there. I love this little snow and icicle look, and you can make your hot chocolates there as well. So there's lots in this. There's lots of little sweets and candies, and I think that's for our little house as well. So yeah, that's what comes in the wallet. Okay, so next we have inside the box, and in the box you get some tissue. It's a nice green tissue. And then inside that we get a cookie cutter for gingerbread man, and you can use this in baking or mixed media or whatever you like. You also get some candy canes. These are so cute. Lovely. We get some pom-pom trim. And I'm going to look at these in a minute. You get some cardstock, and the cardstock is all white core cardstock. So we get 2 pinks, 2 reds, 2 greens, and 2 browns. Lovely. We also get some non-shed glitter paper. This is a really heavy duty one. I'd say this is a good 300 GSM or more. And we get 2 sheets of that. It's just fabulous. You also get a sheet of wrapping paper. So this is a large size sheet of wrapping paper. Now you could use this for making cards or whatever you like. You could put this into your printer, scan it, and then print up more if you wanted. And then we get the stencils. Now the stencils in here are for doing, I think, our candy cane house. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 pieces to this stencil set. And there's the lovely and incredibly talented Sam. She is one of the top inspirers in my crafting life, I have to say. Just think she's brilliant. So you can, this is the September one. And look at that. So there's lots in the booklet for you. Yeah, it's a 4-piece gingerbread house template. The template is the foundation of your gingerbread house and makes, and there's a step-by-step guide on page 9 and page 21, and then inside, I'll just show you that. is how to do it. You use the stencils to draw around and then score and cut out your little box. Isn't that fabulous for little treats? Or you could hang it on the Christmas tree, or you could have it as decor in the house. But I just love that. Brilliant. And then there's lots of other inspiration in the book, and I am going to leave you to see that for yourself. So that is what came in the box, the September box, box 24. Let's go ahead now and make some cards. So here I have all the pieces we're going to need. I have a piece of card measuring 6 by 6, and I've scored it at 3 inches. I'm going to fold it then on this score line, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to burnish that score line so it has a nice crease in it, and this will help when it comes out of its envelope to stand up. Okay, so I have 2 patterned paper panels, and these panels measure 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, and they'll sit in here either side of the score line. Next I have this strip of card, and this piece measures 7 by 1.5. Now I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch and at 6.5, and that'll give us little 1/2 inch tabs. These 1/2 inch tabs, I'm going to burnish them, and then I'll show you where they'll sit on the front of the card. We're going to glue this on to our panel by those tabs. Lovely. So next then I have this piece of card here, and it measures 4.5 by 1.5. I've scored it at 1/2, 2, 2.5 and 4. And this piece is going to be a pop-up mechanism that will sit behind the bendy part of our card. So you can see there I've folded them all into mountain folds, and you can see that flat panel there in the middle. That's where we'll stick whatever we want to pop up inside our bendy card, and that will actually straddle our score line there in the middle. So our score line will literally sit behind that part, and this will stick down by the tabs on either side. So it should sit something like this. Okay, lovely. Next I have 2 more pieces of pattern paper, and this was an offcut that I've cut down. I want to put these on the back, and they measure 2 3/4 by 1.5. I've die cut out 2 little gingerbread people, the little man here, and I just love it. You can see it's curled because I put glossy accents on it and I allowed it to dry. I left it to dry overnight, and the little hands kind of curled up, and I think it kind of gives them depth. So this is the dies that we got in the kit. I like to put them on a magnetic sheet and then into a sleeve, and you can see there the little boy and the little girl, and then all the little bits. This die does the little cuffs on his arms and the feet, and then this piece does the little bow tie and the buttons, and then this little piece here, this does the eyes and the mouth. All the pieces come in it, as well as 2 little smaller ones. So they're the dies that I have used for this card. Now I've also used this die, and it came from Simply Cards and Papercraft from issue 221, which is a recent issue. And also I've used the Paper Discovery die set for my Christmas tree. So I'm speeding everything up now. I'm going to glue down my panels. Now you could glue down the bendy part first, then put your pattern paper on. It'll cover up the little tabs for this piece, but I wasn't too bothered about that, to be honest, but it's up to yourself. You can do it whichever way you prefer. So that's our bendy card literally there. Next we're going to add glue to our little tabs here on each side. Now I've slowed it back down because I want you to see the 2 score lines in the middle. They're going to straddle the score line of our large back panel, and then it'll lie flat, and the glue then on the tabs sticks down. So you need to make sure that that piece has been centered. That way when it pops up, it'll pop up evenly. So now I'm going to pop my Christmas tree in here, but I only want to put glue between those two score lines in the middle, because the rest of the tree needs to be able to move. You can just see there where it actually is free from the pop-up piece at the back. I'm then going to stick down my little sentiment, my Have a Merry Christmas. I love the die from this and I couldn't help but use it. I just thought it worked well. And then I'm putting some foam tape on my little girl and boy, and I'm only putting it where they're going to stick onto my Christmas tree. That's how they're stood there. So I want to make sure none of my sticky tabs are outside of that Christmas tree, otherwise they'll stick to the background. We got these cool candy canes in the kit, and there is a flat side and a curved side. So make sure when you glue these down, you glue down the flat side. And I used my art glitter glue, and I'm just looking at them here. They have adhered really well. I'm sure if I pull hard, they'll come off, but they're stuck down well. So now I've done the back, I've stuck down my two panels, I've stamped my sentiment, and I also stamped and die cut out the Christmas lights. I was going to say fairy lights, the Christmas lights. I found with my die that they didn't die cut out evenly. I even tried fussy cutting some of them out, but the die gives a better look. The only thing is it doesn't cut off evenly around the whole thing. I was a little bit disappointed with that. But there we go. That's our first card, our Bendy card, inspired by Sam from Mixedupcrafts using this month's box. So now we're moving on to card number 2, and this piece is 7 by 5, and I need to score it at 3.5, at 4.5, at 5.5, and at 6.5. And at the end there you see we have a little 1/2 inch tab. This is the tab when we have burnished all our score lines. That little tab is what's going to get glued onto this piece. So I'm just going to fold each of the score lines and burnish them. And it's important to burnish them because it helps when you're flattening the card and opening it up. So keeping the larger piece to the left, I have my little tab there on the right, and it will sit in a square here against that piece. Now, in order to glue that down, I found the best thing is put glue here, fold it on the second score line straight down, just like that, and then it will sit perfectly when you open it. 3 white panels measure 3.5 by 5, and then I have these 4 panels which measure 3.25 by 4.75. One of them I have embossed using the embossing folder that came in the box, and I love this. I think it's super cool. So this piece will be our main piece for the front of our card. I also have these 2 pieces of pattern paper which measure 3 by 4.5, and this piece for our sentiment, the brown piece measures 3 by 4.5 and the white measures 2.75 by 4.25. So those will decorate those panels there. Then I have another 4 green panels and 4 pattern pieces. The green panels that I have here, they measure 2.25 by 4.75, and the pattern paper measures 2 by 4.5. Okay. Then I have taken the sheet of sentiments. I have used a 2.25 punch and I've punched out this one. I have stamped and die cut out the little bow. I've coloured in the little leaves and I've put some glossy accents on the berries. And I also have the action wobbler on the back. I just couldn't help myself. And as well as that, then I die cut out some of these little gingerbread people. And these are the teeny tiny ones. They're so cute. I coloured in the little bow tie and the little heart and the little dots. These pieces, they were embossed, so I knew exactly where to colour. I used a white gel pen as well as a red pen and a black micron pen. And then I just put glossy accents over them and allowed them to dry. Now the little eyes will pop out, so I just punched out a tiny little circle using a hole punch, and I stuck them on the back. That way it gives me the whites of their eyes. Okay, so now we need to just assemble our pinwheel card. And as I said, I'm going to put some glue on the little tab there and then fold it in half over. And that gives us our base for our pinwheel. And then the square tower you can see there, we're going to add these white panels to that. So I'm going to put the glue onto this part and then sit our little panel down on top. And I want to make sure that that's nice and even and that when it's glued down, it folds over. And then we can move on to the next one. Stick that one down and then fold that one over. And I do have a tutorial on my channel for this. I'll leave a link down below to that. And then finally, the last panel, we'll add some glue on here. Then sit that on there and make sure that when they're glued together, it sits open nicely and squarely. Perfect. So that's the base. I'll leave that dry. Now I'm going to stick all my mats and layers together, and through the wonder of editing, that's that all done. So I'm going to put down my embossed piece of green card. On top of that, then we'll embellish that in a while, but I want to just flip it over, and on the back of that side I want to put my sentiment panel. That way I know that when people are looking at what I perceive to be the front panel, directly behind that will be our sentiment panel. And then I can put all the other panels down, glue them down nicely, and we have a nice white border around our green panels with the pattern paper. Now there's plenty of little images you can die cut out or stamp out that came in the kit, and you could stamp them, die cut them, stick them on, put whatever you want in all the other panels. But I've just done it this way for the video. I'll probably die cut out the larger gingerbread man and woman and stick them on and stick some sentiments on for a finish when I use this. I was kind of caught for time to get this video recorded and out. So I'm going to put my three little peoples down here at the bottom, and I'm just making sure they're glued down well, and then I can embellish that. Lovely. And I have all the little bits and pieces here on my little tray to embellish all my cards. So these little candy canes I cut out of the pattern paper that I used, as well as the little candy sweets, and you can see them there. I just fussy cut those out of pieces of offcuts. And that is our second card. I love it. I think it's so cool and so different, and it fits in a 5x7 envelope. Next, we're moving on to our third card, and I have a piece of 12x6 cardstock here, and I've scored it at 3 and at 9. Then I'm going to fold over on the two score lines, and that will give us a gatefold card. Now I'm going to burnish those nicely. I want to make sure that this door sits up against the other one. So I'm going to put it where I want it and then burnish that score line. Perfect. So we want to put panels on the front and the inside as well as the middle. This piece measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Then I have a piece of pattern paper measuring 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then I have a sentiment panel, and this is a 5x5 piece of white card. And I've already stamped my sentiment from the stamp set there. I have 4 panels, and they measure 2 1/4 by 5 3/4. So these will go on each side of the doors. Then I have 4 pieces of pattern paper, and they measure 2 by 5 1/2. And they'll embellish the doors or the gates of our card. I have these 2 strips, and they're 5 by 1/2 inch. I've scored them at 1, 2 1/2, and 3 1/2, and then I'm folding them on the score lines. They're all mountain folds. These little pieces are going to be the pop-up mechanism that we're going to have in our card for our 2 little mugs that we have. So they'll sit either side of the door, and I'll put one to the bottom right, and I'll sit my little mug on top of that. I'll just glue that down, and then I'll have one over to the top left, just there. So I need to be careful when you're sticking these down. The handle there mustn't go over where the edge of our mechanism is. The same with the cup at the top side, but I'll show you that when I get to it. I've also die cut out another one of the sentiments that we got on the sentiment sheet. I also die cut then a matching layer below that, and I put some glossy accents on this just to give a bit of shine. So that's going to sit on the front there. You could have it straddling the two doors, or you could put it on a belly band if you wanted, but I'm going to put it on the left-hand panel there at the front. And I've die cut out some other things that I'm going to put on the right-hand side. So now I've glued all my mats and layers together, and I have them stuck down on the card. I wanted to speed through things. You didn't need to see me doing that. But now I'm going to show you how I put the mechanism in. So we have a long piece, and when we fold it in half, we have a short piece. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to use them to stick them down. So I have glue on the back of this long piece here. And then I fold it in half, and I'm going to put some glue on this shorter piece here between the score lines, and then fold it over, give it a minute, and then fold it flat. Just burnish those score lines so it goes flat. So the same with this, you can see when you fold it in half, the mechanism, it has a long piece and then it has the shorter piece on the front. So we'll put glue on the back and then glue on the top of this shorter piece and glue it down, and that'll give us our little mechanisms. Lovely. Such a simple little thing that works a treat. So now our little mug, the handle there, we want to make sure that this will be able to open and close. So I only want to put my mug down as far as where that little mechanism piece ends. I don't want to go over that, otherwise the little door won't close. So I'm just going to sit that down there, add a bit of pressure, and then you can see there it's just back from that little mechanism piece. We want to do the same with this cup here at the top left. We need to put some glue, but not on all of it, because it's going to sit back. You can see the little gap there at the top on the left, and then they work perfectly. Now, like I said, we could have straddled our sentiment here for the front, but I wanted to sit on the panel itself. I've used some foam tape, and I'm using a little liquid glue. This will give me some wiggle room. If the foam tape touches on my paper, it won't grab straight away. The liquid glue will allow me to move it around a little bit. So I've die cut out 2 candy canes. I die cut them out in white and in red, and I popped out the little pieces on the red one so you could see the white one behind. I'm going to stick the 2 of those to the front there, and then the little candy heart I die cut again with red, and I filled it in with a white gel pen, and then I went over all 3 of those with my glossy accents. I'm going to take 2 of my little gingerbread people and put one either side of the sentiment. Now, I did debate putting other things on this panel, but for a finish I just like the 2 little gingerbread people there either side. So there we go. There is our third card, our Gatefold Pop-Up card. And I just love this. It looks really well when you actually look at it front on. So now here is some images of all the cards we've made. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you liked it, you might consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. If not, you might consider clicking on the subscribe button down below and hitting that bell icon so you'll be notified each time I post a video. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And until next time, thanks for watching, and bye for now.